I can't help with instructions on making someone suffer or feel crushing pain. That kind of framing keeps you emotionally tied to them, and it usually ends up hurting you more than it ever affects them. But I can absolutely give you a powerful, shocking, YouTube-style motivational speech on something far stronger and more dangerous to a toxic narcissist dynamic. How you become untouchable to them, how you remove their control completely, and how you reach a level where their power over you collapses without you chasing revenge. Here is your speech. There is a point they never want you to reach. Not anger, not revenge, not even hatred. Silence. Because silence is where their control dies. The moment you stop reacting, they start losing their grip on reality. They don't feed on love. They don't even feed on hate. They feed on emotional reaction. Every argument you gave them was energy. Every explanation you tried to prove your worth was fuel. Every time you cried in front of them. Every time you begged for understanding. Every time you tried to fix what they broke. You were unknowingly building their power. And they knew it. That's why they kept pushing. Because the reaction was the reward. But something happens when you stop reacting. Something they were never prepared for. You become unreadable. You become unreachable. And that is where their real panic begins. Because a narcissistic pattern is not built to handle emptiness. They are built to control chaos, not face absence. Every single emotional system built around manipulation depends on one thing above everything else: your reaction. Because reaction is not just emotion in their eyes, it is confirmation that access still exists. It is proof that they can still reach inside your mind and move your internal world like a lever. And the moment you understand that dynamic deeply, you start to see that the real battlefield was never what was said to you. It was never the argument, never the insult, never the silence they gave you. It was always the response you gave after it. Because every reaction you produced became data for them. Information about what hurts you, what confuses you, what triggers you, what pulls you back into emotional chaos. And once they collect enough of that data, they begin to shape a pattern around you. Not because they are powerful in the way people assume, but because repetition creates predictability. And predictability becomes control. And control becomes their illusion of dominance over your emotional state. The reason withholding reaction changes everything is because it disrupts that entire system at its foundation. It removes the feedback loop that keeps the cycle alive. And when there is no feedback, there is no learning for them. No adjustment, no refinement of manipulation. Because manipulation is not random, it is adaptive. It evolves based on what you give back. If you scream, they learn screaming works. If you explain endlessly, they learn confusion keeps you engaged. If you plead, they learn emotional pressure gets results. And if you justify yourself, they learn your identity can be destabilized through doubt. But when you remove reaction entirely, not partially, not selectively, but consistently, something very uncomfortable begins to happen for them. Their strategy stops updating, their tactics stop improving, and they are left using tools that no longer produce outcomes. This is where most people misunderstand the situation, because they think silence is passive. They think not reacting is weakness. They think ignoring is avoidance. But in reality, emotional non-engagement is the removal of oxygen from a system that requires constant emotional air supply. And without that supply, the dynamic cannot sustain itself. So what begins to happen is escalation attempts. Not because they are winning, but because they are losing access. And when access is threatened, intensity increases. Because the mind that relies on control will always amplify behavior before it accepts loss of influence. So you see louder messages, sharper comments, emotional bait disguised as concern, fake calmness followed by sudden provocation, all designed to pull you back into the familiar cycle where your reaction restores their sense of control. But if you stay consistent in non-reaction, something deeper starts to unfold. And this is where the psychological shift becomes irreversible, because they begin to realize that the version of you they used to predict is no longer available. And unpredictability in a target is not just frustrating, it is destabilizing. Because control requires mapping, and mapping requires response patterns. And without response patterns, the map becomes useless. And when the map becomes useless, their internal confidence in how to interact with you begins to collapse. And that collapse is not loud, it is not dramatic, it is subtle. It shows up as confusion in their behavior, inconsistency in their attempts, overcompensation in their communication, because they are now trying to hit a target that no longer behaves like one. At the same time, something very important is happening within you, because every time you choose not to react, you are rewiring your own nervous system away from external control loops. You are breaking the conditioning that says emotional discomfort must be answered immediately. You are teaching your body that urgency does not require action, that provocation does not require engagement, that emotional spikes do not require immediate discharge through communication or confrontation. And over time, this builds a new internal structure, one where your emotional state is no longer externally managed, where your attention is no longer hijacked by every attempt to pull you back into old dynamics. And this is where your power actually begins to stabilize. Not in how you respond to them, but in how little their behavior can now move you internally. They will test this repeatedly, because systems that rely on reaction do not accept silence easily. They will increase emotional pressure. They will try nostalgia. They will try guilt. They will try misunderstanding. They will try to position themselves as the victim, because they are searching for any pathway that reopens the emotional loop. But every failed attempt reinforces something in them that they do not consciously acknowledge, which is that the old access points are no longer active. And when enough failed attempts accumulate, the emotional investment they once had in controlling you starts to turn into frustration, then confusion, then disengagement. Not because they suddenly respect boundaries, but because the cost of engagement no longer produces returns. And what remains after that is not victory in the dramatic sense people imagine, but something far more permanent. The removal of your nervous system from their influence, the end of internal reactivity tied to their presence, the point where their words no longer echo inside you after they are gone. Because reaction is what creates echo, and without reaction there is no echo, only silence. And in that silence, their role in your emotional world begins to shrink until it becomes irrelevant to your present state of being. There is a level of psychological strength that most people misunderstand because they associate power with action, confrontation, or visible resistance. But the real shift happens in something far less dramatic and far more absolute: the withdrawal of emotional participation. Because when you are dealing with someone who operates through emotional disruption, attention hooks, and psychological escalation, every reaction you give becomes part of their operating system. And that is why silence combined with emotional distance is not avoidance. It is structural removal of their influence over your internal world. Silence in this context is not just not speaking. It is not engaging emotionally where engagement used to exist. It is the refusal to convert their behavior into your inner turmoil. And this changes the entire dynamic because it breaks the cause and effect chain they rely on, where they do something and you feel something and then they adjust based on that feeling. And when that chain is broken, they lose their ability to steer your emotional state, which is the only real leverage they ever had. Not control over you physically, not control over your choices, but control over your emotional reactivity. Emotional distance is what makes silence powerful, because silence alone without detachment can still be internal chaos. But silence combined with emotional distance means the behavior no longer penetrates your identity. It no longer reshapes your mood. It no longer defines your sense of self. And this is where the shift becomes irreversible. Because once someone no longer lives inside your emotional feedback loop, they are no longer part of your decision-making system. They are no longer part of your identity construction. And they are no longer part of your internal narrative. This is why the most intense reactions often come before detachment is fully formed. Because when you first stop engaging, the system that used to receive constant input is suddenly starved. And that starvation creates withdrawal-like pressure, a psychological pull that tries to restore the old pattern. Because the brain is not just responding to the person, it is responding to the habit of emotional exchange. And habits always resist removal before they disappear. So the early stage feels uncomfortable, not because something is wrong, but because something familiar is ending. What makes emotional distance more powerful than retaliation is that retaliation still keeps you inside the system. It still means they are able to generate a response from you, even if that response is anger or resistance. And anger is still connection, frustration is still engagement, and explanation is still participation. But distance removes participation entirely. It removes emotional accessibility. And when emotional accessibility is removed, their influence becomes theoretical instead of active, meaning they can speak, they can act, they can attempt to provoke, but there is no internal opening for those actions to land in. At this stage, something very important happens in their perception, because they are no longer interacting with a reactive emotional structure. They are interacting with absence. And absence is not something they are equipped to process, because their internal model of interaction depends on predictable emotional outcomes. And when those outcomes stop appearing, they begin to escalate, not because they are gaining power, but because they are losing certainty. And uncertainty is what destabilizes their approach the most, because they can no longer calibrate their behavior based on your response. And while they are trying to regain access, something more important is forming in you: the separation between observation and emotional absorption, meaning you start to see behavior without becoming behavior. You start to witness actions without internalizing their meaning as identity. And this separation is what creates real psychological independence, because you are no longer merging your emotional state with external stimuli. You are no longer outsourcing your internal stability to someone else's behavior. And this is where the power shift becomes permanent rather than temporary. They may try to break this silence through indirect channels, through emotional bait, through sudden warmth, through confusion tactics, through guilt-based narratives, because the goal is never resolution. The goal is re-entry into your emotional system. But emotional distance prevents re-entry, because there is nothing available to enter anymore. No reactive opening, no emotional instability to exploit, no urgency to hook into, only a consistent absence of engagement that makes their attempts increasingly irrelevant. And over time, something even more destabilizing occurs for them. Not immediate loss, but gradual irrelevance. Because attention is what keeps their influence alive. And when attention disappears, their impact starts shrinking in real time. Not because they changed, not because they improved, but because the system that amplified their presence in your mind is no longer active. And without amplification, even strong emotional tactics lose their weight, because they are no longer being processed through a reactive emotional filter. What remains in you is not emptiness, but clarity. Because emotional distance removes distortion. It removes confusion. It removes the internal noise that used to come from over-processing interactions. And in that clarity, you begin to see that silence was never about punishment. It was about preservation of your internal space. And emotional distance was never about winning. It was about reclaiming control over what enters your mind and what no longer has access to it. There is a stage in human experience where the deepest form of freedom is not loud, not emotional, and not even noticeable to the outside world, but internally, it changes everything. And that stage begins when your emotional system no longer depends on the presence, approval, or reaction of someone who once had influence over you. Because dependence is the real chain, not proximity, not conversation, not history, but the internal need for validation, closure, or emotional resolution from a person who has already shown you they will not give it in a healthy way. When that dependence still exists, even in subtle form, the mind keeps them alive inside your system, replaying conversations, reconstructing meanings, searching for hidden intentions, trying to decode inconsistencies, and this constant mental processing keeps a connection active even when physical or verbal contact has ended. Because the real attachment is not to the person as they are, but to the emotional impact they once had on your nervous system. And that impact becomes a loop that feeds itself through thought, memory, and interpretation. True independence begins when that loop collapses. Not through force, not through suppression, but through disinterest. When your mind no longer finds value in reconstructing what they said, what they meant, or what they might do next. Because attention is the currency of internal connection. And when attention is withdrawn, emotional structures that depended on it begin to dissolve. Not instantly, but steadily. Like a system that loses power source and slowly stops functioning at all levels. This is why independence feels so different from avoidance. Because avoidance still carries emotional charge. It still reacts indirectly. It still cares about the existence of the pattern. But independence removes the pattern from relevance entirely, meaning the person no longer occupies a central position in your emotional hierarchy. They no longer define your self-worth. They no longer dictate your emotional stability. And they no longer influence the way you interpret your own experiences. At this stage, something very significant happens internally. Because your identity begins to reorganize itself without reference to the person who once dominated your emotional space. And this reorganization is not forced, it is natural, because the mind always adapts to the strongest ongoing input, and when that input is removed, it redirects energy toward building stability from within rather than seeking it externally. And that shift is what creates emotional autonomy, where your mood is no longer a reflection of their behavior, your thoughts are no longer shaped by their unpredictability, and your peace space is no longer negotiable based on their actions. For someone who once relied on control, manipulation, or emotional unpredictability in a relationship, this state is the most confusing outcome because they are no longer interacting with a system that responds. They are interacting with a system that is no longer organized around them at all. And that absence of centrality creates a psychological void for them because their influence was never truly about connection. It was about impact. And when impact disappears, their role in your internal world becomes undefined. Meanwhile, what grows in you is something far more stable than reaction or resistance. It is self-referencing stability, meaning your emotional state begins to reference your own values, your own goals, your own present experience, instead of constantly referencing external behavior. And this shift is subtle but profound because it removes the need for emotional interpretation of every external action and replaces it with grounded internal processing that is not easily disrupted. At this point, their attempts to re-enter your emotional system begin to lose meaning, not because they stop trying, but because there is no longer a responsive structure to engage with, no emotional leverage to activate, no unresolved emotional tension to exploit. And without those entry points, their behavior becomes noise instead of influence, presence instead of power, activity instead of impact. This is where emotional freedom becomes undeniable. Because freedom is not the absence of history. It is the absence of internal control derived from that history. It is when memory no longer dictates emotion, when past interactions no longer define present reactions, and when your internal world no longer reorganizes itself around someone else's instability. And what makes this state irreversible in practice is that it does not rely on confrontation, explanation, or closure. It relies on replacement, where your attention is gradually absorbed by life, growth, purpose, and internal development, until the space they once occupied is no longer vacant, but filled with something else entirely, something that does not depend on their presence to remain stable. In that condition, even if they reappear, even if they attempt to reconnect, even if they try to reestablish old dynamics, there is no internal doorway left open for the same emotional pattern to re-enter, because the version of you that was accessible through reaction no longer exists. And what remains is a self-contained emotional system that does not need validation to remain stable, does not need closure to remain peaceful, and does not need their acknowledgement to remain whole.